Hello! Hello, good evening, and welcome to Cthulhu Level 909 and all the usual suspects. We are about to embark on. Well, this is actually probably going to hopefully be one of those shorter streams because I've got a lot going on. I was at one of Sky's school performances earlier today, or earlier tonight. She has two because she not only plays the violin, she also sings, so yeah, really busy time for me right now. Yeah, that looks interesting. I'm thinking that what I want to do is work on landing on Mars still because I did a thing a couple of weeks ago. You might remember where we had Sky, of course, introducing herself and making herself noisy and whatnot. And I thought, maybe we should continue with this and try to see if we can land safely on Mars because I really do want to scale that thing up to work. So let's actually work on this a bit. Okay. Commander Cyanide is tuning in once again. Okay, as long as you're not dropping out. I do not know where the part is that I'm looking for right now. I guess we have fuel tanks, and those are that shape. Of course, yeah, I've switched between multiple versions of Kerbal Space Program, and the stuff is never quite where I left it. So if you'll forgive me, if I'm looking for this, and I'm looking for my Mark II parts. I suppose I could do MK2, right? And see if I can find something in here. I just want to extend. Yeah, none of these ones are the parts I want. Nope, none of these are the right shape. Yes, thank you. That's fan. What is that? That is not going to work there. Aha. There. That. Okay. Well, that's totally the wrong shape, but I'll keep that around because it's useful to have something that's that shape. I could have sworn there should be a fuel tank in that form factor somewhere. I do not see it. It's almost like the game has I don't know, decided to hide these critically important things from me. And non-RP0, it's not in here, right? Okay, not there. Oh yes, okay, there we go. WIP. Now what's in this? Highly pressurized tank. Oh, pardon me. It's very sneezy. These are the short ones, long ones. Yeah, let's just do that. I wanted to have a fuel tank, but I'm not seeing the option for not a fuel tank, a cargo bay. I'm not seeing that in here. Utility. Wait a second. There we go. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Cargo bay. And then we need some mass back, some fuel here, because of course we're going to need engines. And let's actually go with these. Yes, bicoupler. Okay, sure, we're going to do that. The SAS, remember to turn off your stream when you're done. I will remember to turn off my stream when I is done. I is doing what I is doing to be done. Ooh, Nerva. Could we go full on Nerva here? Ooh. No, this thing is going to be so, like, rear heavy. That might just be a bad plan. How much thrust does this thing offer? 387. That's not too bad, actually. What is the thing? So I guess we put in liquid hydrogen, and it gives me a total delta V of 900 meters per second, which is useless. Absolutely useless. I don't know why I bothered, why I even began to think about it, because liquid hydrogen is, of course, incredibly bulky. You know what I also need to do is take this and flip it upside down. I had planned to have a special guest on tonight to do something, but unfortunately, due to the timing of the school thing, we just couldn't do that. We will continue to work on this the special guest issue. Does anyone have a suggestion for an engine that we might want to put in here? X Spaceplane? No. Vanguard? No. Vanguard's just terrible. We could do the RD-85, but then you have the LOX 8 liquid hydrogen thing. RD-270. Ooh, yeah, we could go like total... The largest single... yeah, a little too powerful. Oh, and we've got this. That's unfortunate. Oh, look, something that I've been working on. Actually, I've just put that up there to make it look like I'm smart instead of not an idiot. That's fantastic. Let me just do top right. So, what shall we do while we're waiting? I mean, you know, we can talk about things. Anybody get any interesting questions? Run no mods. Really, somebody wants a no mods run? Okay, okay. This is gonna take too long. Right, no mods is the way to go. No mods. Let me just bring up Kerbal Space Program again. Launch KSP 64-bit. What headphone? I would not look at these headphones. These are Sony MDR V600s that I used to use for DJing before I upgraded to the MDX 700s. Well, so this space whale landing was gonna... This was gonna be the space plane landing, space whale, but clearly the game doesn't like that. Apparently, this is using 121, but the thing thinks yes. When am I gonna? When are they gonna fix the PS4 version of Kerbal Space Program? I do not know. Top right, there we go. How is India's space program going? Last I heard, it was going up. Have I heard anything about when SpaceX's next launch will be? I have heard that it will be on the 16th and it will lift off from Vandenberg carrying Iridium satellites. And I'm prepared to believe that. Okay. Come on, what's the challenge for today? What's my challenge? Come up, give me no, my nickname, my DJ name was SM. Because Scott Manley, right? Yeah, sorry, I keep doing this by, you know, just always. Moloko man, why would you Google like a little girl? Are you perhaps giggling like a little girl? Come on, I'm asking. Let's go to Eeloo in an hour. Eeloo in an hour. Okay, seriously, I never go to Eeloo. Everyone's like, oh, you should go to Eeloo. Okay, let's send a spacecraft to Eeloo and back. We'll send a big crew. Why not? I don't actually know how much Delta V I need to go to Eeloo, but I will figure it out. We're gonna need this. We're gonna need heat shields. Oh wait, we're now under thermal, aren't we? No, 2.5. There we go. We're gonna need RTGs and stuff on this, but first of all, we're gonna need. Let me just think. Yeah, we'll do the Clampotron because we're going to do docking. In fact, let's do the proper one. Yeah, like that. I mean, Eeloo's actually light enough that we can just have the crew... We could have this whole thing land on the surface, but let's do the two-stage thing. Let's try and make something that looks the part. I need to figure out where I'm putting everything right now. Radial mount parachutes. It looks so weird to have so few parts on this. I'm gonna stick like a pair of little solar panels on it. Solar panels right here. What about escaping Joule from low atmosphere? No, we've already started this. I'm sorry, but the decisions have been made. Decisions have been made. Plans are in progress. There is nothing that can stop us now from our long thing. That's liquid fuel oxidizer. Is there a 1.5? Was there a 2-meter tank that has only liquid fuel in it? Oh yes, we get this fuselage. That's what we'll do. This will be the upper stage thingy. liquid fuel oxidizer. Oh, this is a slanted version. I guess this will be the one. No, you can't post a link because posting a link would require me to actually do stuff. And I don't... I'm doing stuff right now that involves flying a spaceship. So there will be no posting of links. Okay, get rid of the oxidizer. I've no idea how much I'm going to have on this thing, but we're going for it. Atomic rocket. This is where it would be really nice to have some Delta V, wouldn't it? Scott, what are your comp specs? My comp specs. My computer specs are... I don't actually remember. I got my computer last year. End of last year, I basically bought the best things I could. And we're going to be way away from the sun, won't we? I shall probably stick some RTGs on here just for good measure. Just to make sure that we've got enough to keep that running. And since we've got this, we are going to need some of these reaction wheel things. Reaction wheel, and I'll probably need some batteries just to make sure that I can keep the thing going. That should be fine. Scott, have I ever done donation streams? No, I haven't done donation streams, mostly... I don't know why I haven't done donation streams. I did. I built my PC Thanksgiving last year, and I posted large chunks of the video before we had to actually finish. My kids did most of the building, and they were very, very helpful. Yes, we'll need some thermal control radiator panels, right? We don't need that big. There we go. Radiator panels. That should be fine. So that'll be my spacecraft. Now we need to attach to this a lander. I'm just trying to think of the best way to do this. Pardon me, I'm all sniffly for some reason. There's no decoupler that matches this thing, right? Yeah, I'll just do this. Like this. And then I shall do a cunning trick here. I'm going to use the containers, payloads. So we're going to slide this inside here. Oh, there. See, that'll look totally cool. I wonder if that'll explode when I try to fly it. And then close that up. Close. That does not look the way it's supposed to, does it? Whose idea was that? Whoever... What? Come on, seriously? Ah. Well, so much for that cunning plan. I kind of wanted that to work. There's no decouplers that fit this profile. Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm just trying to think what to do here to make this look right. Yeah, I guess, you know what I'm going to do here is... We got to have the lander. We got to build the lander underneath this whole thing. And the lander will have to sit in one of these gizmos. I don't know, I've just not built like a big Eeloo type spacecraft in a long time. And I'm just trying to remember where all the different parts should be. Oh, pardon me. Is there such a thing as a legal betting scheme? There's absolutely legal betting things. Just depends on the countries. Here we go. I mean, I think that's a nice upper stage there. That should do pretty good. Get pretty good delta V. We can have monoprop. We've got liquid fuel. Yeah, let's just do a liquid fuel stage down here, right? That'll be what feeds into this, and then we'll extend this. This will be what contains the actual stage that we're launching, and we'll have another liquid fuel. Oh crap! Get rid of this thing here. Okay, there we go. So we're gonna need a ton of struts. And that is absolutely a technical term. Going to Iceland in 3 days. No, but have you looked at the CCP website? They apparently do office tours if you're interested in that kind of thing. Okay, so we're going to need a lander. And we're going to need a decoupler type thing. So actually, let's start with the docking adapter. Electrical science. Where's my docking adapters? My docking adapters are here, aren't they? Clampotron docking port. Bingo. So this will be our lander type spacecraft. And it should be pretty good. It should be easy enough here. I think this will be enough to land us on Eeloo. What does anyone do the math on this? Wait, this one has 345, whereas I'm wondering if I can get away without going full on full on poodle. Poodle actually gets slightly better, but it's 1.75, whereas this is like half of that. Also, the thrust. I think we can do that. Okay, so we're also on top of that. We're gonna need like a. Oh crap! You know what I should do is move this out here. What are people talking about? People are talking about things. I'm just trying to figure out what kind of parts that I want here. Yeah, let's do that. Let's have a pair of these engines just for good measure. Well, how heavy is this? 0.1 tons. That's good. And then we'll have a pair of landing legs. A trio of landing legs even. Trio. And I'll move these down just enough to make sure that they fit. And then hopefully we can fold them away. Start extended. Those kind of fit. Oh my god, that's a tight fit. That is going to be a tight fit. So we're going to have to slide that inwards. Sneak that in there ever so little. Okay, so next thing we're going to need is some navigation, some fuel for reaction control thrusters. And I guess we're going to use the little spherical tanks. Or the roundified monopropellant tanks. I'm going to need 4 of those, like that. There we go. 4 of those. They're looking kind of like, I don't know, boobs. And I guess I could try and fit. Let's just put batteries on this thing. It should be fine. Batteries. Electrical. Oh, actually, we could put the batteries up there. That'll help. So we'll have room there. And then we need command and control. We need some thrusters. But that is our lander. Okay, that is good. And we can close this thing up. Close this thing up. And then we need an engine on this stage. So I'm going to put one of these on, and then we're going to use the big vacuum upper stage for this thing. Okay, this is looking kind of interesting right now. What I find really interesting is I have no idea what the thrust to weight ratio of this is, because I just don't have the numbers to hand. Still, we're going to continue building this thing out. Okay, so we need the big decouplers. Because I don't usually work with the stock stuff anymore, so I just don't remember how much thrust is needed or what my thrust to weight ratio is. I'm just kind of guessing my way through that. And then we'll put the RS25 maybe? Yeah, let's do that. So we'll do the 4-way RS25s. Great. Next we're going to do this. It's going blinkety blinkety blink. 6-way symmetry, that's the only way to go. 6-way symmetry is truly the symmetry of perfection, because you can fit the most thrusters in if you do 6-way symmetry. If you merely use a lower order symmetry, you will not get the same amount of rockets around things. You know what? I'm going to shrink this out and actually replace it. Do the nice little nose cone thing. There's that, and then there's that, and then. Oh, actually, we could even continue this pattern of using rocket nodes, rocket pointy things. That's not the one. Oh, look at that! Is that not pretty? I think that looks really rather marvelous. And should I asparagus this up? That's the real question. I'm building something insane. I don't know, I'm actually seeing if I can, how quickly I can get to Minmus. Not Minmus, Eeloo. Gonna slide these outwards as far as they'll go. And you know what? That can actually apply to the rocket engines. Look. You can just slide these outwards just to make sure there's enough clearance on the bottom. Now the only thing is, we're gonna need more struts up here, obviously. That's the first thing. Let's attach, like, poke those inwards. And we'll attach these to their neighbours. And I'm going to need some extra reinforcement on the inside to hold this thing together, because there's going to be a lot of force coming from these. That's fine. Dare I add some solid rocket boosters to this thing? I don't honestly know. Yeah, this is what happens when you're like entirely working with guesswork. Like, I'm going to call this I have no idea. Let's save. SRBs? People think we should have SRBs? Okay, we'll have some SRBs. Although, to be honest, SRBs are not going to add much to this. Like, we've got so much thrust. We really... What you... Actually... Okay, let's do the kickback. And we'll slide these outwards. Oh, man, it's not going to let me do that. Let's select this. Come on. Let me select this. Thank you. It just will not want me to do that. They do look very pretty. I think so as well. Let's try attaching them to the engine mounting. There, that's much better. That'll totally work. Or not. If it doesn't work, that doesn't matter. Actually, you know what? Let's just go full Jebediah on this one. And we'll attach these in trios. Right? So by attaching 3 of them together, we are going to get the maximum amount of insanity for our input. Go there. There. And then we'll, of course, we'll have some cross links to ensure stability. And then, let's actually connect the bottom of them in some way. Let's do that. So the bottom, that'll add some bracing below so that we should avoid as much flexure as possible. And let's actually, you know, just for test purposes, we should attach the launch clamps to this. Okay, so all these need to go on the same stage, like this. And then we have these engines. These also need to go on the same stage. And then this core engine also needs to go on the same stage. And then, for maximum awesome, we need to be putting fuel into the middle here. And we also need to have Sepatron motors to make sure that we push this thing apart correctly. Because right now, as it stands, this thing is probably going to actually flex in the opposite direction. So what we're going to do here is put the little Sepatron motors on, if I can find them. Thank you. And the little Sepatron motors may actually be too little for this, but we're going to go with it. Okay, so these ones should actually fire when these go. No, not when those go, when those go. That's right. Okay, let's put the crew in this. We get Bill and Bob. You know what? We're missing somebody. Let's take Kelling. No wait, we need a pilot. Who's going to be a pilot? Hayuki. Hayuki Kerman. You're going to be the pilot. Great. Let's try this. Fox your engines in the bottom? Why would I fox my engines in the bottom? My engines in the bottom are exactly right. They're designed so that they don't hit each other. That's what I've got. I've deliberately... That is not a bug. Those engines are deliberately like that, so I'm not going to fox them for you. Okay. What do you think? Anyone want to place bets? It's standing just fine. Ah, we're getting just over 1G of thrust, which is a good sign. And now, here is an interesting... It is actually working. You know what, I'm going to turn off SAS here. For the simple reason that it may be inducing some wobbling. Okay, definitely need to bring that down. Look at that, is doing pretty well. I have to say, I'm always quite surprised when I get this far and the thing hasn't killed me. Of course, we still have those external boosters that we're going to lose. Oh dear. We're now shooting through the sound barrier. Max Q. You know what? We might just have to do this in a far from ideal fashion. We're just going straight up here. Oh yeah, let's ditch those things. Oh, excellent. First stage separation. Went without a hitch. Okay. Let's try firing this engine. Okay, we'll have to do that. Oh, everybody is in the command capsule, right? Decouple. Some bits are still flying around, but this is going to do just fine. Because we have a parachute and everything. It was flawless up until the point where it failed. Although, I have to say, I do like a nice dramatic launch failure. There's something really quite, I don't know, quite comforting about it. Ooh, I'm not sure I like that wobble mode there. I guess it's stabilizing. Yeah, Jeb is unfortunately not here to save the day. He is going to be the one that, he's going to be the one that says, I told you so. I do like one of the features that they added in 121 where the parachutes just, nicely avoid each other. Quite Russian. Oh, come on. 8.5 meters per second. Wait, we really need 2 of these parachutes to land safely? Why did it break, though? That's the question. It's a very good question. You know what we could also do is jettison the heat shield. Yes, that'll save us some mess. So we can land safely in the water. Yay! Okay. So, revert flight to vehicle assembly. You never can get enough of me? Really? Oh my god, I sometimes worry. Okay, so we clearly have too much thrust going through these external things, so more struts will be the obvious option. Except that I haven't done this with symmetry. So I'm just going to add more struts. You know what they say, right? You know, if it moves, strut it. Well, if it moves and it's not supposed to, use struts. If it doesn't move, and it's supposed to, use more boosters. That's a really simple rule, right? I'm going to add some more struts up here. Okay, that apparently didn't work. That looks a whole lot better. Now, is there any way I can increase the rigidity of this whole structure here? You know what? I could probably take these things up much higher. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice! Question is, can I take these even higher? No, that's not going to work. How about this? Well, it kind of works. Let's see if this will work. You know what? I'm actually going to put fins on it as well. I realize that we actually need some aerodynamics. Not for any particular reason, but I think that it would look cooler if we had some aerodynamics. So let's do that. Oh crap, did not mean to do that. I'll do that. That is not what I intended to have happen. That is more like what I intended to have happen. Now the other thing I could do is just start this thing with a very slight lean. Like that. Let's do that. Let's see how that works. Launch! Yeah, WD-40 is a thing that's designed to make things that move, that are supposed to move, start moving again. Oh, there we go. Beautiful! Beautiful! Many people make the mistake of using WD-40 as a general lubricant when it's actually in part a solvent. So you really want to be careful what you use it on because it will dissolve the other grease and things like that that are actually supposed to... Right, Rother has it correctly. It is to loosen things, not to lubricate things, right? I was trying to make that clear. Lubrication, you want to use proper grease, appropriate grease for the situation. Okay, this is looking much better. It is possible to start the rocket on a slope, and in fact, that's how the Japanese did it for their rockets. They deliberately started at an angle so that they wouldn't need guidance computers for their early launch. Okay, let's see if that works. Now, will she hold together? I think she's looking pretty good. 2 Gs, and we're continuing on this ascent path. And once we get to like 100... Oh, wow. I'm liking the look of this thing. And we're still going up. It'd be really nice to have some readouts and whatever here. This is essentially mod-free with the exception of one air racing mod thing that I installed. Okay, 82. We're going to let this get up to 100. And then I'm going to cut the thrust. And 100. Yes. Okay, next. Next, actually, we're going to deploy these. Because we want to have power. Extend solar panels. I haven't even looked at like phases and things like that. Okay. So I think we're all set here. There's one of them without fuel. What engine is without fuel? How come this middle one doesn't have fuel? Because... oh, crap. We're supposed to have fuel getting fed in. Why are you guys not feeding fuel in? I told you to feed fuel in. You fuel feeder thing. I don't get it. I don't get it. What are you doing? Wait a second. Oh, we're feeding into the wrong stage. Damn it. River fly. Okay, little change here. I was feeding the fuel into the wrong stage. An easy mistake. Plumbing is very complicated, as the people that built the N1 realized. Okay, so we're going to come back in. And here, put some fuel in there. Yeah, you know what? I think we're doing well here. Maybe I should extend this center stage a bit. You know, we'll be fine. Check your fuel. Check your fuel. Check your fuel. Okay, ready? Off we go. Just gonna let this build up to about 100 meters per second and then tell it to start following its nose. There. Follow your nose. Feel the way gravity is pulling you down inexorably towards the center of the planet. It's not really a force, more a curvature of space-time that's messing with your perception of what a straight line actually is. I'm gonna actually tell it to stop that turning right now until we get a little higher and a little faster. Obviously overcooking the turn just a bit. And hopefully, though, once we get close to burning out a solid fuel, I'm gonna point it back towards the velocity vector. There we go, and then ditch those. Right. So the reason I pointed it back towards the velocity vector was that was the point at which I was most likely to... Oh, look at them die. It was the point at which they were most likely to not destroy themselves. Still, that looks pretty awesome. And we're now picking up some heat here. 53 kilometers. Really getting hot here. Don't worry, we expected this. It's entirely part of this plan. Just don't wobble yourself to pieces. 80, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 89. I'm just going to shut off the power now. Okay. So we're just going to float in there. It's nice that we still have plenty of fuel in this thing. What is our situation in terms of electric charge? Doing just fine. And now I can actually deploy these. Extend. Okay, great. Once we get closer to our Apple apps, we're going to perform the thing. How to get my nieces into the STEM stuff. They're 7 and 10. Just build stuff with them. It's great. You can build robots with them. And you know what? It's actually really easy to get one of these $50 Arduino kits and show them how to create flashy lights and stuff for their room. I know Sky loves doing that, and it's really easy. So that's one thing I would suggest. Microscopes, telescopes, those are great things for kids. Anything that involves doing stuff with your hands is awesome. Also, kitchen chemistry. Seriously, I know so many kids that love messing around and making things like oobleck, strange non-Newtonian liquids, or even, bath bombs, homemade cosmetics, right? There's so much stuff you can do in that. And I'm saying that, like, even Orion likes to do the homemade cosmetics thing. Okay, I'm going to fire these engines up a little. Thank you. No! There's no such thing as Legos. There is only a product known as Lego. Legos is some strange non-existent product. It's called Lego. The plural of Lego is Lego. If you call it Lego with an S, you are not a true Lego fan. You are some amateur. You might as well be playing with Mega Bloks. At least it has a plural which ends in an S. Today's mission is to go far and wide. I'm just getting into orbit right now. Lego elements is acceptable. Not Lego bricks are sort of acceptable, but Legos is a made-up word made up by people that don't understand how plurals work. If you're, that country, whatever, that does this. Okay, and get myself into a 100-kilometer orbit, and bingo! Okay, so now where is Eeloo? Eeloo's up there. So best bet is to wait until it comes around. Best bet is to catch it here as it passes through the plane of the ecliptic. That's what I'm going to try and do. Denmark. I know. I thought it was Legoland, technically. They are just scared of Lego becoming a generic word. Okay, so let's go to the tracking station. I'm gonna run time forwards in the tracking station because we need to move Kerbin around to about here. Oh, Lego is absolutely the superior brand when it comes to interlocking bricks. Yeah, Eeloo is at its most inconvenient point, but whatever. We can let time run forward for a little while. Don't worry. Yeah, actually, Lego Mindstorms is also good, but it's pretty expensive, if you're going to go for that kind of thing, it's actually a lot cheaper to work with Arduinos, where it's a whole lot, a whole lot cheaper. How goes this evening? This evening goes very, very busy. I was originally planning on talking to I had some stuff that I needed to organize, but hey. Rather, I tend to use that in my daily job. I have to say, any laptop that is still shipping with a 1080p screen is old and should be ashamed of itself. If you ever recommend a laptop that only has a 1080p screen, you are living in another century as far as I'm concerned. Ruthia, I live in San Francisco. I live in Oakland, and my house is probably worth about $1 million. But we didn't pay for that much right now. We didn't pay for that. Like, that's not what we paid for it. Okay, I'm gonna wait. I'm trying to think when will be a good place to fire my launch window. I think about here, right? Watch this, and bingo. I have no idea. Let us take control. Yeah. Well, I mean, you've heard about that whole fire thing, and you understand why people live in warehouses in the Bay Area. Okay, what way are we going? Like that. Now, I mean, that's just what houses go for in this part of the world. Like, you gotta understand that a lot of the people here are in the local economy, and the local economy is very good compared to the rest of the US. And there's a lot of reasons for it. I mean, it's an economy that's centered on tech. It's not focused on manufacturing, so it's always been one that's very much tried to create its own thing. And yeah, it's just there's a philosophy here as well to a certain extent. Okay. So I need to adjust this so that it points more along there. And you see, by changing the burn time, we've changed how far out it goes. Oh yeah, I need to target this thing, shouldn't I? Set as target. There we go. Thank you. Right, I wonder where... Oh, crap. Come back. Would really like to know where Eeloo is when I'm up here. Unfortunately, it's not going to tell me. It's just going to, like, mock me. Oh, there. Wait. We got some sort of indicator. Okay, so I'm slightly early. So if I'm slightly early, I can just push this thing up a little. And it'll lose that, but don't worry, I can fix that. I can make a correction here, right, where we either bring it up or down. Aha, you see that? Okay, so we got our initial maneuver set up. We're going to go for it 2,000 meters per second. And I'm going to arrive pretty close to perfect orbital velocity. And this is just going to take a little time for me to turn towards it. 6 minutes before I make my burn. Okay. If I was without family ties, would you Mars mission? Would you Mars mission? That is not really a correctly constructed grammatical question. Yeah, LA and San Francisco and Sacramento are the kind of main centers, and it's the San Francisco Bay Area, which is really like a whole lot of cities around the Bay. You're talking San Francisco, Berkeley, Oakland, Alameda, San Jose, Mountain View, Cupertino. That's really just lots of ship. Lots of stuff. Well, it looks like we're not going to get too far on that one ship, but we're ready to go. And we're wobbling just a bit, but you know what? We're going to get rid of that. Palo Alto, yeah, Palo Alto is basically where Facebook is. Do I know the way to San Jose? Yes, I do. I occasionally go through San Jose on my way to Cupertino. Yes, Alameda is where they keep the nuclear vessels. Did you know that that movie was released 30 years ago? It was released in November 1986. So that's 30 years ago. Have I been to Melbourne? I have not been to Melbourne. I would love an excuse to go to Australia, to be honest. I have many things that I remember I think I would like about Australia. Whoa, look at that. Estimated, oh man, I totally nailed this estimated burn time, except for the fact that I'm about to ditch part of my spacecraft. Still, I'm going to be in my escape burn. Oh! Still, we did it just fine. Yes, excellent. That is pretty good. Bit of an oscillation there, but don't worry. You know what? I'm gonna throttle down a little here. I don't want to shake my spacecraft apart. We've got this weird snake-like wobbling going on. I think we're fine. Yeah, Star Trek 4 is one of my favorite movies, but it's really interesting to see how it is not representative of the Bay Area. Oh yeah, no, I used to remember the Sun Microsystems campus. It's really, nobody used to get photographed next to the Sun Microsystems logo, but everybody's always taking pictures next to the Facebook logo. And there's a giant sign which is like a big thumbs up, and there's always people that think they're so cute going, "Look at my giant thumb," and they're like, oh, dear. Yeah. Look at me go into space. Yeah. Oh, Star Trek it's such a good movie, that series. Oh, Shoot and Tribble. I used to use Alpha. We had True 64 systems, or digital Unix, DEC Unix. We had that at the observatory because their double precision floating point units were so damn fast compared to anything else out there. And I got like a little cheap Multia box, which had more megahertz than anything else at the time. And I ran Linux on it, and I was one of these guys really doing, all sorts of fun pioneering stuff. But, it had some weird issues. I just remember. I remember that the Java implementation on it, there was some bug related to a Java IRC client where if you pressed backspace, it would literally cause the entire machine to panic. So, yeah. Okay, so now we gotta adjust this to make our encounter happen. Up, down. A little more. So what I'm just going to keep doing is accelerating outwards. Right. And then downwards. So you see it's only going to be oh crap, not too much. Come back. We're going to make that encounter. So that'll disappear. As soon as that disappears, alright, we got to pull it down. I'll go through the other side, and then actually I could do this a little. Oh no, I shouldn't do that actually. I need to do this. So actually I should bring that back. not sure I like that added encounter geometry, but you know what? I need to make this encounter happen. Okay, so actually, let's move this backwards in time so that we're doing this sooner. Alternatively, let's actually do it later so that we're adding more time sooner. There we go. I wonder what my capture delta V will be for this. Focus view. There's my encounter, my impact parameter, and add maneuver. Slow it down. It would be really nice to actually know what my capture is there. I forgot that it wouldn't actually show me unless I had a mod installed. That's very helpful. Well, whatever. I'm just going to go for this. We should be heading out into deep space now. Excellent. So, let's just... warp here. Yes, you can use the scroll wheels on the maneuver vectors since the day that maneuver nodes were added to the system. That has one of the oldest features. Look at this go, flying off into deep space. So beautiful. How much fuel do we have in here? Oh wow, yeah, we basically almost run out from this tank here. Like, I literally finished that maneuver with like 110 or whatever. There's so little left in it. That's pretty funny. The more you scroll, the faster you scroll. It is useful to have around, though. It's definitely impact. So impact parameter is another name for hyperbolic encounter distance. That's really what it is. But actually what it is, it would be your impact parameter is the distance between the tangent of your velocity at infinity relative to the center of the body you're encountering. So, yeah. Are we sure they didn't add maneuver? I could take a look. I shall try. Look, let's zoom in. Hover. Oh, it says 2,000 meters per second. Wow, that's pretty bad. I think I might choose a different route to do this. So, because otherwise, I think I'm not going to do this. You're right. I think I'm going to abandon both of these maneuvers for now. Kill that, because that's 2 kilometer per second encounter. What I want to know is... We're still doing this. I'm going to kill this. If I add a maneuver here... Oh, crap. What I want to know... And then I'm just going to double click on this, damn it. I want to know what kind of maneuver I need to actually circularize relative to Eeloo. So that we're getting roughly... It is about 2 kilometers per second, regardless. So I guess I'm only wasting about a few hundred meters per second. I wish I hadn't undone that now. Whatever. In fact, I probably actually would have saved some fuel by doing that. So let's actually make that maneuver happen again. Silly me. There we go. Outwards. That way. That way. So once again, I got to set this maneuver node up again because I removed it because I thought I was really hitting. I was going to be going past it too fast, but turns out that I was actually pretty on the money in terms of maneuver options. Oh man. But I need to bring this back down a little actually. It shows it's so close together. It is so tempted, so okay, how about this? Yes. Okay. And once again, back with the incredible rhyme animal. You know what? I'm gonna just do this maneuver. 188 days still. Ha! Okay. Once again, warp to next maneuver. I'm gonna select this. And actually, here's a question. How is my electrical charge is being consumed because I am so damn far from the sun. But we've got this. We're going to do this. Hope they packed enough. No. It's or it's corned beef sandwiches that astronauts traditionally pack after that whole corned beef incident. The corned beef sandwich incident, which was it had congressional hearings and everything. Very famous. Get this I just need to get it roughly where we need to go. So now we're time warping. I'm going to tell it to warp to next maneuver. He was scolded for that. Did you see... And Scott did see your poop video, and whoa, that was damn scary. What was scary? The scary bit about the poop floating around the cabin? Or the scary bit about the air rushing out between the astronauts' legs? Or the scary bit about how people went poop on the... you know, in the Apollo bags? Because all of those are pretty scary if you think about it. Okay. Now ready to fire up my engine here. Brilliant. Let's see how far we get. Yeah. I think it's funny that I had almost exactly the right amount of fuel to make my escape burn, but not more. Okay, I'm just gonna decouple that. And activate this engine. Oh, beautiful. Isn't that beautiful? This really does feel like a work of art here. Gemini bags would have been... Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, you know, like, to anybody that hasn't had kids, the whole handling poop thing, it just seems like really disgusting. But once you've had kids, it's like, you know, like, you know all about it. I also think it's funny that, like, there's all these Orbeez videos on YouTube of, like, people jumping into bathtubs full of them. I wonder how many of them would do that if they knew that that was the same material that's used in diapers. Okay. We're doing pretty well here in terms of fuel, but you know what I want to do actually? This is probably the time when I want to perform the transfer over, right? The staging is we are full nuclear after this. Okay. We're pretty good on this. How close do we get? Yep, we get an encounter, and in fact, if I focus view, how close is my impact parameter? Ooh, that's pretty close actually. Well, 39,000. I think we'll definitely adjust that, but right now the lander is in this stage here. And what we need to do now is just have that thing hold attitude. Actually, you know what? If I... Yes, that's it. Open. So we need someone to perform an EVA. Why is this thing rotating? That's better. Hold attitude. What? Why is there something... Hold... What is going on here? Why is there something triggering yaw? Okay, try this again. Time, accelerate, and stop. I don't know, there's something in my stability control that is misbehaving. Okay, so this thing, open the docking shield. And now, he's the pilot, so he's going to be the one to do it. Lights on. Oh, yes, okay. He's a pro pilot. He knows what he's doing. This is where I realized that I should have probably tested this in low orbit. Oh, also, I was just about to think, I hope I put I was just about to think, I hope I put the hatch on the correct side. That would have been rather embarrassing to not be able to get in and then have to, you know, figure out something else to do. Okay, let's board this sucker. And next, decouple node. Okay, we're gonna use the correct thing here. Now, let me just try this. Ah, excellent. Beautiful! Oh man, that looks so good! I could have used the transfer option without, if I'd actually thought about that. But you know what happens? I am one of these old school players that forgets that this feature was added. I'm just going to time accelerate to get over this. Okay, next. I'm going to make that my docking target. Set as target. This thing is rotating, I think. Just do a little bit of time accelerating to get over this way. And then we'll figure out... Man! Okay. This is all totally dark, so I can't see anything. I'm going to open the landing gear, actually, because that might make it easier for me to see. So now I'm going to start moving towards the target. There we go. Actually, still going upwards faster, but we're now moving towards the target ever so slowly. Again, time accelerate. So we're getting roughly the right orientation here, but we're not perfect. Oh, itchy, itchy. And you know what? My orientation here is actually incorrect. It's a little better. Actually, that's great. If I just hold that attitude. Now I just got to stay on target. Are we there yet? I don't know. We're not doing it inside an hour. I know somebody was talking about doing it inside an hour, but there's limits to what I'm capable of, especially since I'm just building things. I mean, building things without any kind of feedback, any kind of planning or whatever. Just throwing some parts together. I know I need docking lights and stuff like that. Still, I think we're pretty good. I think we're doing an excellent job of staying on target here. Oh, you know what I should do actually is a control from here as well. Yeah, we got it. Look at this. La da da da, ja 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 ja, la 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 da da, da 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 da, da 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 da, la da 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 bump bump bump. There we go. Look, that was so good. Okay, F5 to save that. Now we need to figure out our encounter here. So, next thing I'm going to do is just figure out how to adjust it. So, just put add a minute. Oh, that's 6 years. No, I don't want the 6-year version. I want the next. No, I want the blue one. Oh, crap. Okay, 25 days, we're going to add a maneuver. And the maneuver is going to be used to trim our approach parameter to Eeloo. Look at that. See, we're going to try and get as close to Eeloo as possible. Oh. Oh, that's pretty good. Starting to feel better about this. Just 1.5 meters. See, normally, if I had a spacecraft that had RCS that was powerful enough, then I would use the RCS to make this happen, but we're going to have to do it using traditional rocket engines. Now, I think I'm going to arrive on the daylight side of the planet just because it'll look a whole lot prettier. That's pretty good. Okay, I'm going to save that. 1.5 meter per second burn in 25 days. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on here. No, here and warp to the next maneuver. It's okay that I will miss the actual maneuver by a couple of minutes because we're just going to rotate the spacecraft into the correct orientation. I may have to quit this thing very soon, unfortunately. Why is this thing only running at 10,000 times normal speed? Yes, people are telling me to set my thrust limiter. Also, I can close this. Oh, that's not what I meant. I said close this. Oh, of course, I'm in time warp. I can't close it in time warp. That's what I'm seeing here. There's not actually that much fuel in this section, but there should be enough to get us into orbit, and then we'll be nuclear for the rest of the way. Yeah, we're going to set this engine thrust limiter down to like 1%. There we go. Time per 1, node and whatever. 0.5. And now, stability control, point towards my maneuver node. And this will take some time. It's a good thing that I have a lot of power on this thing. Mcthulhu is saying, yes, it's hard to wing a Brachistochrone transfer. Yes, very good. I've never touched down on the moon and also never remember to save. Press £2,000. I'll tell you this. I was not the first person to land Kerbals on the moon. Many people got to the moon before me. I kind of stopped playing, to be honest, by the time that the moon was a landable thing. One of the things about the early moon landing or early Kerbal space program was that there was no saves, right? So landing on the moon was like there was no option to save the game. Basically, look at this is thrust going. This is me to 100% thrust. So actually, I should come out of this. Zoom in. Look at that. Oh, how sweet and pretty and beautiful that is. 4.3. Now going at, I don't know, 10% of 1/10 of 1% of the thrust that we can get from this engine. I think that's pretty good. I'm just gonna see how close I can get it. And bingo. Okay. Now, before we finish, gonna kill this, set my thrust back to 100%, and we are gonna F5. So Eeloo escapes, so we wanna warp here. There we go. So now we're gonna wait until we find Eeloo. I hope I picked the right thing. That's the escape, right? Yeah, okay. I guess it's because the frame of reference is rotated here, right? Eeloo is actually catching up with us because we're rotating, right? I wonder, can I add maneuver nodes while looking? Yeah, I could add a maneuver. Look at that. Oh, no, that's not what I want to do here. Never mind. While we're time warping, I can add this all-important capture maneuver. That's pretty good. Great. Still a long time before I get there. Floating a long way from the sun. Favorite band ever is Queen, obviously. Darude, oh my god, I'm gonna say I hated Darude long before that goddamned meme. He was like one of these guys that actually got famous on this website called mp3.com, which is one of the worst websites ever. The guy that started that was just, yeah, not a big fan of Michael Robertson. In part because some of his dumb decisions made it very hard for music sites to continue to do cool things. I'm a hipster. I'm so not a hipster. What do I think of a Hughes H4 Hercules? I don't actually remember what those are. Well, I still do have to get home. Actually, the big question is, have I got? Okay, what is it? Yeah, 013827 is commenting on my rotary rocket and saying, "Oh, you didn't add anything to counter affect the, perform rotation of the spacecraft." Actually, actually, I did. It was called reaction wheels. Yeah, Brad Pokey claims that because he lives in Austin, he knows that I'm not a hipster, and I would counter that I live in Oakland, which is even more hip than Austin. Like, Oakland is currently the center of like, other than Portland, obviously. 1 year to go. Oh right, the Spruce Goose was the H4. That's what I always just thought of it as the Spruce Goose, I guess. So I've never really known its its designation. Berkeley is not hipster. It's like too academic. Like, Oakland, as you may have heard, is full of all the artists and stuff that can't afford to live. Wait a second. Oh yeah, can't afford to live in any other place anymore. It's hip to be square. Oh my god, that was a Huey Lewis in the News, right? That was one of their other tunes other than The Power of Love. Okay, does Nashville count as hip? That's a good question. You have I had vinyl before vinyl was a hip thing. Yeah. No. Anyway. Anyway. Huey Dewey Lewis. Huey Dewey Louie in the News. That would be perfect, yes. Have I heard of Ninbin in Austin? I've never been to Austin. I just know a lot of, cool people that are kind of there. Would like to maybe have an excuse to visit. Yeah, I mean, Austin is kind of like the Silicon Valley of Texas, I guess, as I understand it. Okay, so we got a maneuver, warped. You know what? Before we do that, before I warp, I am going to perform... I'm going to let this thing rotate. And actually, let's close up the patient. We don't need this cargo bay anymore. Where is... Where is the target? It must be out there somewhere. I am not seeing this. Do we really come into the sphere of influence of Eeloo so far from it? Oh, there it is, right there. Man, it's really tiny. Practically indistinguishable from the stars. Okay, and warp to next maneuver. Yay, here we go. Diving in, and we're here. Okay, now, throttle up the engine. And I do have to be careful because this thing is sitting on a... whatchamacallit? On the tip of this on a single maneuver thingy. And that's us... Is that us captured? That is not us captured, no. That is just me beginning to perform something. I guess we're just not quite as escape velocity as we were before. You know what I just realized is I should have put a probe body on this so we can actually scan for anomalies. And the other thing I've thought is, like, do I have enough fuel in this to actually perform... Wait, why have we taken fuel out of this? Hold on. Okay, you know what? Actually, sorry. Let's keep this thing firing. I might have to transfer fuel out of this into this because apparently we've used some of it. Oh, it was probably just connected to this via the fuel system. So we should be fine though, because we're going to burn through this. My burn time looks fine. We get loads of time here to fix my burn. I mean, it's not like I've got 3 days to perform a capture, right? We will be fine here. What I'm more concerned about is the fuel here. In fact, what I'm going to do is transfer fuel into this. And there we go. Okay. That way we now have enough fuel for this. And you know what? I am now going to... I'm doing fine, don't worry. I'm kind of worried that if I throttle too much, this thing might start to flex. That's what I'm really concerned about here. But it looks like we're doing fine. Yeah. And there we are. Nope. I thought the camera changing was going to indicate that we'd got into a capture orbit, but apparently, no. Apparently I don't understand how to read these camera movements. They're so flirty. Yeah, I mean, I have plenty of fuel-only tanks in the nuclear rocket. That's really going to be the last chunk of this mission. But we do need the liquid fuel for the lander, because we're not going to put a nuclear thruster on the lander. Okay. And I should have probably been more aggressive earlier on this thing, but whatever. I'll make some adjustments to get into a circular orbit after we get into an elliptical orbit. Come on. Oh, and yes, we have to ditch this stage. Okay. Decouple. Oh, and I said, oh yeah, that's it. Okay, throttle up. Activate engine. There we go. Good thing I transferred fuel out of this before that, right? Now, this is going to take a whole lot longer. It says it's going to take 6 minutes. Well, okay. Still, at least we're not going to have to worry about the engines on this thing, on the thrust of this thing breaking anything. I even gave them extra living space just because I felt sad about them being out here for so long. Almost! Come on! Get me into an elliptical orbit. I want to know where we're going to end up, and then we'll make the correction. Yes! 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 Come on! Come on, come on, come on! Excellent! And I'm just going to... At this point, what shall I do? I'll actually let that get a little lower. And then we'll cut that thrust. I'm going to cancel the maneuver node. Add the maneuver node there. Circularize with the mouse wheel. And the rockets, obviously. 174 meters per second. Okay. Point there. Warp to next maneuver. And apparently time warp is confused. It doesn't do time warp when you're on physics warp. There we go. So that thing is going to fly off into the infinity while I continue to fly around looking at this from above. Has somebody done the math? Do I have enough delta V to land on this, or have I screwed myself over by not giving myself enough fuel? No, this is not to land. This is the delta V required to perform an orbital injection. This is just the delta V required to circularize this orbit and place myself into a potential landing opportunity. Yeah, I'm worried that I may have underbuilt the spacecraft for landing. I might just take one crew down to the surface, because then, if I run out of fuel, I then have another 500 meters per second of delta V to return. If I need 2 guys, then I might have trouble. Okay, that's pretty good. X, F5. Throttle. Okay, you know what? I'm going to fly around to here, and then we're going to add an extra maneuver to bring this thing really close to the surface. Oh. Like, not 5 kilometers. What's the highest mountain on Eeloo? I think 10 kilometers is safe, right? I think I'm gonna have enough fuel to get back to Kerbin. That'll be fine. I don't have any concerns about that, oddly enough. But then again, we can always send a rescue mission or something. Oh crap. I really wish I had Kerbal Engineer here to help me out. Cthulhu, it's not about the mass of the pod, it's about the fact that I can jump them out and fly them with the jetpacks, but if I need 2 of them to escape, then I may not be able to do that. Okay, so we're going to fire up this engine, just bring this down closer so that we're not burning fuel that is in the lander. Two. And that's us. Okay. Now let us prepare for this descent. F5. Where is this darn thing? We have one crew member on here. Yep. Let's actually wait until we get around into sunlight. Oh wait, actually I have batteries on this. That's what I have. I don't know if Kerbal Engineering is ever coming to the latest build at this point. Like, there's been a bit of drama and stuff like that. Okay, undock? Sorry, only the pilot is getting to go, because that's what matters. Oh, you know what? I still have my thing on sensitive mode. Gonna point ourselves retrograde now. Gonna activate both of these engines. Activate engine. Oh, do these things have alternators, or have I forgotten about that as well? Let's try firing the engines just a bit. All good. No alternators on these engines. At least I have RCS to help me. Okay. Can anyone tell me how high... Oh, there we go, I think... Never mind, we'll just do that. Maybe I should put disable... What I'm going to do is set the reaction wheels for... pilot input on... Actually, you know what? Maybe I should just disable the reaction wheels altogether. Toggle torque for now. And then we'll use RCS because we actually do have decent amounts of RCS. Here we go. I think as far as tonight is concerned, I'm just going to land and then presume that I can get it home. I'm safe at 5 kilometers. Well. Oh, crap. Did not mean to do that. Changing the camera once again. I'm turning the camera all over the place. I put no panels at all on this thing. It's entirely battery power alone. The highest point is 3.9 kilometers. Yeah, maybe I should turn on electric charge. I gotta save some of this stuff. Actually, the monoprop's kind of useful right now. Okay, 3, 4. Yeah, I think I'm gonna aim for that thing there. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Actually, you know what I should do? Hold on, I get an idea. Add a maneuver. Right, so that way I get a countdown to aim for. So I know when I'm going to be getting close here. Starting to look really close. 1 minute. wait until I'm like 30 seconds away. Okay, now what I'm going to do is temporarily enable the torque. Oh, this thing should actually have tons of fuel. Now I look at it. Oh, only thing is, I have... Oh, wait a second. Looks like I'm going to end up on the slopes unless I manage to do this. Unless I manage to turn in here a little. That's what I'm doing. That's better. Yeah, I'm going to be fine. I thought I had... I don't know, for some reason I thought Eeloo had more higher delta V requirements than the moon. But it looks like we're going to be fine here. I've killed 200 meters per second, and yeah, we're doing fine here. Now, where's the question is, the sun is there, so I should be looking for a shadow in this direction. That's the thing. So I'm going to bring my velocity down to about 100 meters per second now. Ah, there's my shadow, right there. Still no idea what my actual altitude is. I could have brought both of them down easily. Damn it! Velocity killing. Velocity being brutally murdered by my twin rocket engines. Yeah, the other thing is I could have totally got away with just one engine on this and saved myself tons of fuel and everything. We get about 1g acceleration out of this. $20 meters per second. 18 meters per second. Okay. Coming in for the landing here. Ha! Excellent! And look, I have more than half of my fuel left. So yeah, I totally could have took everyone with it. Gonna F5 that, EVA, get out, look around, plant a flag, plant flag. Hi, okay, Kerman! Look at that. All done in one take. Because Eeloo is just like any other planet. Okay. And with that, it's time to go home. It's funny that one of the comments that always comes out is, why did you never plant a flag on Eeloo? And the reason is, of course, that back when I did this for the first time, there weren't any flags in the game. Okay, so we gotta wait for the planet to come back around, right? I could launch at night. That might work. He's on the other side of the planet. No, that would be a worst case scenario. We just gotta wait for the things to be in an appropriate place for a recovery. Before calling it, we need to hear the famous fly safe phrase. Why? Everybody says fly safe in their video games. Haven't you noticed? Like, EVE Online and, you know, Elite Dangerous and Call of Duty. Call of Duty even has it as well. I mean, I certainly didn't invent the phrase. I may have popularized it. What the hell? Whatever place I put it, we seem to have... It wasn't an hour. It was to Eeloo, just because. Okay, so I'm going to need to launch off at this angle here. So we're going to do that. Target that, set as target. Really need to actually just wait for it to be in the right place. Come on. Oh, almost. I think actually this is going to be the best I can hope for. No, it's going to be totally around the wrong side. What I'm doing is waiting for a return opportunity where the spacecraft aren't... Wait, where did I lose? Oh, there it is, there. It's invisible against this... Oh, crap, and I overshot there. I want to make sure I end up on roughly the right in orbit, right? If I end up in an orbit where the inclination isn't right, I could be have some sort of trouble. Okay, this may be the one that I have to do. Come on. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, that's us. And we're going to go off at 135. We're targeted. And throttle up. There we go. Okay, this is the hard part here. Okay, so we're gonna come up there about 19 kilometers. We're a little early, but we can make some corrections and all that. But that's us doing pretty well so far. So that's the target. That's me. So I'm gonna be coming slightly behind it. That's fine. I can, you know, maybe wait a second. That's gonna be going faster. So what I should do is fire my engine and try to make my encounter distance a little closer. See that? Bringing my encounter distance down. It's 2.6. Come on. Oh, that's our encounter distance is now increasing. So I'm going to switch to a target relative mode. So the target is there, 12.5 kilometers out. I'm going to miss by about 3 kilometers, so I'm going to fire my engine like that to make sure the encounter gets closer. Once again, bringing the encounter distance down. Just by pushing things very, 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 very carefully. Very, very carefully. The power situation is fine. I don't know why I was worried about it. Like, power situation is 454 of 500. Now the encounter distance is down to 0.5 kilometers, 0.4, 3... And you know what? I'm going to stop there like that. We're headed straight towards it. Retrograde relative to the target. Now, Krakenstein, you seem to misunderstand Titans. With Titans, you just log out, and that's fine. Like, it's not that crazy. Okay, I'm gonna fire my engine, bring the speed down a little. There we go. 1.6, 1.5. Gonna bring my speed down to 50 meters per second. There we go. So that should be 20 seconds away. Actually, let's bring the speed down to like 30, so I'm 30 seconds away. Ah, man. Oh yeah, plenty of people complain about USB discs, trust me. It's just they don't, you know, it's just you don't need to, you don't tend to worry. Okay, 11 meters per second, I have target in sight. We're coming in at about 30 miles per hour, slowing down. Gonna control from here. Sorry you guys, you were just here to give me like moral support on this journey. Okay, bring the speed down to 4 meters per second. Ah ha ha ha, yes. Unless you've actually played Eve, you can't make the spreadsheets joke. If anybody that's not played Eve makes a spreadsheet joke, then they don't actually understand what the joke is. Okay, bring the speed down again. Set as target. 31 meters out. So, let's switch to reaction control thrusters. And then that way. We're going to go that way. So now I need to rotate the spacecraft to point in the direction, roughly in the same direction. Okay, like that. That. Good. Okay, now from here. Oh yeah, that's what I need to do. Locked camera, okay. And we're in final approach here. 14 meters out, moving in at about 0.1 meters per second. It's really beautiful to watch the planet move underneath us like that. What is Eve about? Eve is basically a giant sandbox MMO where you build spaceships and people build fly space. You know, some people build them, some people fly them, some people become pirates. The whole point is that it's a giant sandbox and the rules are very, very loose. So there's many types of scams and things like that which are actually legal in the game. Griefing, there's practically no rules because it's a free and open world. So, yeah. It's awesome. It is the game that has the biggest battles of any video game. Like, you can literally have thousands of players all fighting together in battles that end up costing hundreds of thousands of dollars for everyone involved in total, right? I'm really quite liking this last minute docking here. Docking is so like relaxing. Oh, turn it off. Oh wow, I totally got the dock on one go. Okay, well, I'm gonna save it there. Huge battles suck actually be in because tie-dye. No, they don't suck to be in because of tie-dye. They suck. They just suck to be in because you're part of a giant cog. I mean, that's the best part about it. Seriously, anybody that tells you that battles suck in Eve because of tie-dye has clearly never lived in Eve when there wasn't tie-dye. Right? That's all I can say. Tie-dye saved Eve and made it a far better game. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna... There's one last thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fire the engines and we're gonna get back on a Kerbin crossing orbit. Just to show that we have enough delta V to do this. Alright, 650. And this one might take a bit of work. That's Kerbin, right? No, that's about 13. Okay, so not quite perfect, because what we want to do is actually make this thing... I want to turn this and line it. Where's my orbit, damn it? Really, I can't see my orbit at the same time as... my orbit is going to be going that way. Okay, that's pretty good. It's a bit the best retrograde orbit I can pick. And that will put... Wait! I made it worse? Are you kidding me? Okay, so... Where's Kerbin? Kerbin is like in here. Set as target. You know what? We'll perform the escape maneuver and then we will perform final trajectory correction maneuvers. So, estimated burn 26 minutes. Maybe not actually perform the burn. You know what I am going to do actually is I'm actually just going to aim prograde. Oh yeah, and before I do anything, I'm going to transfer fuel to this. Wait. Transfer the liquid fuel out, because we don't need it. And we should probably have high D, whatever. Transfer crew. Transfer to... Oh, man. Really? Okay, transfer crew. Wait a second, did I transfer? Oh, I did. It did. The transfer actually happened. Okay. Ditch this thing. Undock. So we've got everyone here. I think I'm going to have to wait another orbit, truthfully. Because I can't really do much with this thing. Going to point radial outwards. Radial out. There we go. We'll do that and then we'll fire up the engine. Now we'll go prograde. Yes. We're making a quick turn to get out of here. Oh, Thievery Corporation. I've seen those guys a couple of times. They're like big Bay Area kind of, you know, things. So here's the thing. I think we're actually burning high. So what I'm going to do is aim... I'm actually just going to hold this attitude and aim down here. There we go. You are... Why you be driving through Oakland tomorrow? Is there a reason? Okay, now, time accelerate. There we go. At some point, I might want to... Oh, this thing's going to be fine. So I'm using, at 4 times regular speed, I'm using 1.5 units, I guess so. And that gives me over an hour's burn time. So yeah, I've totally got more than enough fuel to get back where I'm going. Look at me power sliding out into orbit because I don't care at this point. Okay, well, I'm going to say goodnight because I'm pretty much on my way home somewhere. We can figure out... I'm sure I can get an orbit that brings me home, but I'm not going to do that right now because I do need to get some sleep. that's what's going to happen. So I'm going to say farewell, everyone. I'm glad you came. Safe travels, especially if you're not going to be here in the coming weeks, because after all, it is the holiday season and people are, going places, doing things, etc., etc. So yeah, have a good one. I'm Scott Manley. Fly safe. Oh, and I've deleted my standby stream, apparently. So yes, I'll have to figure out what to do about that.